Hello, and welcome back to Nadya's Identity Files. Now I have with me the also very accomplished Rajendra Singh, and please tell me if I'm butchering your name.
It's actually Mrgendra Singh.
With hard G.
With a hard G, yes.
Okay,
yes.
See, I was waiting. I was like, I know I'm saying his name wrong, and he's not correcting me. You can always correct me. I'm such a very straight shooter, so anytime I say something off, please put me in my place.
I mean, it's funny because what happens, like, I like in US especially, people
make it a soft G.
They attempt to say it, and I love to see it. Like, people trying, they struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just a fun thing.
So
yeah.
Mrgendra.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I got it. There's so many R's in your name, and I think that's where the challenge is for me.
The tricky thing is the R after the M.
Yes.
So people are like, what?
I love it. I love your mustache.
Oh, thank you.
You're rocking the curled mustache.
It's the new thing I'm doing for last few months, yeah.
You need to go to Silver Lake and, rock that.
I live in Silver Lake.
Oh, well, you're in the right place, clearly. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, today, obviously we're going to be talking about Asian Indian identity in the context of the entertainment industry. Mm-hmm. You are a director. You are also a writer. Yes. What drew you to working in film?
Well, I guess since I was a child, I loved stories. I loved hearing stories. I loved telling stories. And from my background, where I come from, being in arts is the thing for not smart people to do. So under societal pressure, I chose this whole line of like math and science and stuff. But it was always there.
Yeah.
Always there. And then I met my wife actually, and she's like, why? I mean, we were dating at that time. She's like, why don't we just start making stuff? I was like, yeah.
Where did you meet her?
In college. Yeah. I came here for my master's here.
That's right, Virginia.
Yep.
And what university was that again?
It's Old Dominion University.
Old Dominion.
Yeah.
Old Dominion.
Yeah.
And that's where you met your wife?
Yes.
What were you studying there for your master's?
I was studying actually information systems. Computers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And what was she studying?
She was a psychology major.
Interesting. So you both kind of had this itch to pursue your creative lives and to pull what's been kind of so internalized and put it out in the world.
Yeah.
And you kind of vibed on that.
That's our team. Like, we both work together. And
it's fantastic.
Every movie I've made, she has played important part, being from producer to script supervisor to assistant director, whatever. And she's always there to give me notes on scripts, and like, it's good to have a partner, basically.
What was your first big project together?
Our first big project was this movie called Crave we did for a competition. And so we, like, a bunch of people, we wrote together. And this is how it shows, like, how we work well together, because at the 11th hour, our actor dropped out.
Oh, no.
And then
I know how that feels.
And then I was like, Caitlin, would you be kind to assume the role of the zombie, please?
Of the zombie?
And
honey, will you be a zombie for our
exactly.
film? And how'd that work out? Was she a good zombie?
Oh, she's a great zombie. And we won the competition, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like to say, as trite and cliche as it sounds, everything happens for a reason.
Yes, it is.
And quite possibly, her zombie-tastic zombie is what, it contributed to the nomination.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things, but yeah, she was great. And she didn't like to act much, but she acted out of necessity when we always need, like, it's like, Caitlin, can you please just... And she's like, okay, I'll do it.
Right. So now you know that she's there in the event that happens again.
Yes, yeah.
So tell me a bit about your current projects and what you're working on.
So actually, I just finished shooting a pilot for a digital series that we are going to pitch to different networks. It's like subscription on demand kind of thing. And and we just finished shooting it. We ran a crowdsourcing campaign to raise money for the pilot, and Caitlin is one of the producers, my wife, and partner, and we are actually in post production for that.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
What's the name of the series and what's it about?
It's called Lapsed, and it's a story of a politician who suffers from blackouts, and then she has this dream where she saw somebody getting murdered, and
Oh my
then
God.
it just like, and slowly she starts remembering things, and it's like
It's
a last
fascinating.
memory. Yeah,
So it's interesting because your wife and producing your film creator partner, she has a background in psychology.
Yes.
And I've noticed in looking at, your trailers and your director's reel that there's definitely that psychological and supernatural almost kind of feel.
yeah. We generally have, whenever we do any projects together, and she is the logic police. Like she's
Yeah.
like, it doesn't make sense, and
Right.
then we have to just figure it out to make it better. So
Yeah.
So
What attracts you to these darker sensibilities in film? It's actually what I prefer as well, and I'm fascinated by what I saw, the little bits that I saw of your work, and I look forward to watching more.
I think for me, it's like people are capable of doing things. Like we have two personalities. One is like which is out there, and one is what would you do when nobody's looking at you, and
Right.
and like the ethical dilemma in modern society has the morality in modern society has been changing vastly. So I was like, that's kind of
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, obviously, humans are very multifaceted creatures,
Yes.
some more than others.
yes.
And we all have that side of us that's
Yeah.
a little darker, and often certain
Yeah.
things are festering beneath the surface.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to explore
Yeah.
those when they're, bubble up, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Mhm.
And speaking of your work, why don't we check out your director's reel? You have some commercial work in there too,
Yes,
I
yes,
saw.
yeah.
Very cool. But obviously your passion is in the film.
Yes, and narrative storytelling. Yeah.
Would you classify your work as somewhat like film noir? Almost.
I have inspiration from film noir.
Yeah.
And lately I am more because I am a filmmaker of color. I am more drawn towards finding
Yeah.
the normal day-to-day stories of like what kind of life. I mean, what kind of stories are there for people who look like me?
Right. And so keeping with the theme of diversity, and I love, by the way, that your character and the series you're working on is a female politician specifically.
female, and she is ethnically ambiguous.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that. How has your own identity influenced your work?
Oh, it's a great deal. So I grew up in India, and we grew up watching Bollywood films. And there, in our posters, the leading man or leading person is
Yeah.
always Indian.
Right.
Now you watch movies here, and then there's this whole thing like, for something once, I was like, oh yeah, like there was this movie Van Wilder, I guess, it came out a long time ago, and Kalpen was in the movie, and he was like a small thing in the
Yeah,
back,
very
and
small.
I was like, yeah, I guess this is what's we, because we're gonna be. And I was like, no, that's wrong, and that is where we have to make changes. And though I have worked with all sorts of people, but like the very first lead in my first film I did
Right.
was Asian guy,
Mm-hmm.
Filipino, and I tried to bring characters from everywhere and just have them do normal things which a normal
Yeah.
person do. Like I'm working on a feature called Normal, and purposefully I made the lead character an Indian guy and Indian mayor, and then he interacts with his wife who's American,
Right.
who is we have decided what ethnicity she's going to be, and then there are different people from different minorities living together normally,
Mhm.
and a story of this couple who just had a baby and they're trying to find normalcy in life, and it's just
I like that. I
Yeah.
think part of the issue in the entertainment industry is that minorities are often cast in such a way that feels so stereotypical.
Yes.
They are
Yeah.
othered and, made to fit into this boxed out frame of a person rather than looking,
Yeah.
being in roles like that are just fleshed out human beings,
Yeah.
like, the way you're trying
That's
to move
I
with
don't know if
normal.
you guys watching follow Twitter and stuff, but Kalpen just posted like a bunch of tweets where he he actually kept all the scripts he auditioned for and all the roles he had auditioned, and they were so stereotypical. And I was like, if you're having this discussion in
Terrible.
2017, there's something needs to be fixed.
I mean, in many ways, we're kind of we're reverting backwards, especially with the current administration. I don't want to get too political, but it's definitely problematic. I mean, our world is predominantly Asian, so
Brown people.
It's like by probably in the next 20 to 25 years, there's going to be very few white people left on Earth. So it's like we need
Yeah.
to get with the program.
Yeah, well, my wife was the very first one to jump on that boat. She's Caucasian, so there you go.
Yep, there you go. Well, thank you so much.
Oh,
We're going to
cheers,
come
yeah.
right back with our roundtable conversation where we will dig in even more to Asian Indian identity in Hollywood. Stay tuned.